Hey, y'all, what's up? What's up? What's up? This is Coach Paul. God has qualified me, and I'm bringing to y'all another one of these Move Monday episodes. Yes. And as usual, y'all, before we get off into what we're going to be talking about today, I have to say what I always say. And as usual, I strongly encourage you to incorporate this into your lives so that we can all walk in the greatness that God put inside of each and every one of us. And that is, watch this. If you don't move it, it's going to move you. That, my friends, is definitely a promise. All right. So today is going to be a little different. However, it's all circled around who needs to move, what needs to move, where needs to move, or what thought processes needs to move, again, so that we can get into the greatness that God put inside of each and every one of us. So without further ado, let's get going on what we're going to be talking about today. All right, here's the first quote. Some of you all may want to write it down. I can't go without this. I strongly ask you all, first of all, thank y'all for joining in, subscribing, liking, posting, reposting, commenting. Thank you all for all of that. I strongly ask that you would continue to do that and get other people to subscribe to this podcast. So that, again, we can talk about these things that needs to be talked about and deal with the things that needs to be dealt with, because our greatness is a move away in many cases. We think that it's far away. We think that it's, I'll put it to you like this. There were times when things happened in my life in terms of breakthroughs, milestones, things of that nature. Some of them, it was a challenge to get to. Some of them, I had to take the stairs. All of them, I had to take the stairs. But it was some of those times where I had asked God, like, wow, this is all I had to do to get there? And many times he said yes. And that's the same thing with this greatness, right? That's the same thing with who we are really meant to be. A lot of times, some of those breakthroughs and milestones that you're going to, that you need to meet and that you're going to venture into, they're not hard. They're not far away. Some of them are easy to get. So we have to do the work though. That's 100%. We have to do the work. We have to be willing to do the work. We have to be diligent in the work. We have to be relentless in the work. We have to be resilient in the work. We got to put on the work clothes, the work boots, and do what it is that we need to do. So anyway, I'm going to start with this first. Excuse me, what's going on with the throat? I'm going to start with this first quote. This quote was created by Coach Paul, yours truly. It says, it's hard to trust the person you are when you're still attached to the person you were. I want to kind of elaborate on that a little bit today. Again, among some other things that we'll be talking about, all wrapping around what needs to move so that we can get to this greatness. When I think about that, one of the things that it's a few things that come to mind. I'm going to start from a biblical standpoint. It was a character or a person in the Bible. I think he was a king. Maybe it was King Saul. That God had sent them to conquer a land, right? A civilization of people. And his instructions were leave nothing, destroy, get rid of everything. And obviously that didn't happen. They got rid of everything except, some of y'all know what I'm talking about. They got rid of everything except this little thing. And that little thing that they didn't get rid of, right, costed. Costed people their lives, costed people their positions, costed people many things that they could have had or could have been blessed with because of the fact that they kept something that was told to give that they were told to get rid of. And that's what goes on with many of us. Many of us, we can't trust the person we are because we still married to the person that we were. We still attached to the person that we were. We want to keep a little bit of a memory of that person. Take, for instance, my life. I jokingly say it, but it's so true. Obviously, you all know my name, but for many years, I had a nickname. I had developed an image around a nickname that was given to me. Watch this. It was given to me and I accepted it because, I didn't know who I was. So I gladly accepted this name that was given to me, only to find out that name that I had become, it had a whole lot of darkness attached to it. Especially with the fact that name that I had become, or the person that I created because of that name, it had one of the ways that it was killing me is that it was taking me farther and further away from the Paul that God had created me to be. And every time that I tried to get my life together, I still had kept a little bit of who he was. And every time I went back, not some of the times, every time I ended up going back, and it caused me a lot of pain, a lot of hurt, a lot of harm, a lot of detriment. It costed me a whole lot. Thank God that it didn't cost me my life, and it didn't cost anybody else theirs. But the fact remained that I was still attached to the person that I was. I was still married to the person that I was. And I couldn't fully become the Paul that God has created me to be. I couldn't fully come to the greatness that God had put inside of me because I was holding on to something that he told me to let go of. Some of y'all out there know what I'm talking about. One of the primary reasons why you still stuck is you still holding on to the person, some part or some remnants of the person that you were. You still attached to it. And watch this. Watch this. This is so cold. Watch this. That little piece of the person that you were still attached to, or that I was still attached to, that little piece, it had a whole lot of other things attached to it. Other people. It was a little piece of me, but it had a big piece of the old people, a big piece of the old places, a big piece of the old things, a big piece of the old ideas that was, again, choking the life out of me, killing me, keeping me from my greatness, keeping me from who God had called me to be, because I was holding on to that little piece. So what am I saying? That little piece of that old person that you holding on to, it has a whole lot of other stuff attached to it as well. And it's going to keep costing you. It's going to keep costing me. It's going to keep costing us. This is one of the reasons why lots of us are in these positions that we are in, whether it's our relationship with God or lack thereof, our relationships with others or lack thereof, our relationship with ourselves or lack thereof. Wall Street Trapper said, if you give them the power to feed you, you give them the power to starve you. One of the reasons why that's happening in our lives is because in some cases, we're still attached to the person that we were. And I'm saying this, and I want you all to hear this, please. Many of you out there has to do what God had told their king in the Bible. Leave nothing. Kill everything. Leave nothing, take nothing, kill everything. And that's what I had to do with that old guy that I had become. I talk when I do my motivational talks at the treatment center, I talk to the guys about it. I had to kill him. 100%. Everything about him, I had to kill. And in some cases, I still have people in my past that's close to me that will correct themselves. Oh, I'm sorry. That Paul, they'll correct themselves because they know they know and respect the fact that I have gotten rid of and detached myself from that old person. So everybody out there who's listening to this, I'm going to say this quote again. It's hard to trust the person you are when you are still attached to the person you were. You are not, please hear me, you, me, and nobody else is going to be able to fully walk in the blessings that God has bestowed upon us or has for us until we willingly let go of a lot of the old stuff, if not all of it. A lot of the old people, a lot of old places, old things, old identities. It just won't happen. I used an analogy. I had used an analogy once before in that it was a preacher did this example with me. He had given me a Bible in each hand, and he said, "Grip these two Bibles, one in his hand, one in his hand." And I did, and he said, No. He said, "Now grab this Bible out of my hand." And what I did was, I did like this. I had the two Bibles in my hand and tried to grip that other one with the two Bibles still in my hand. Many of us do that, and I couldn't. Even if I was able to get it from him, I wouldn't have properly be able to hold it because my hands were filled already, right? And so again, what he did was he said, "Okay, now we understand that you can't pick this up because you're still holding on to something. Now put these things down, let these things go." I put the Bibles down. He said, "Now take it," and I was freely able to take it with both hands. And so that's what has to happen. We have to freely put down, empty both of our hands of that old person, divorce that old person so that we can fully trust and walk in the new person. Just that simple. I can't say it no more clear than that. It's hard to trust the person you are when you are still attached to the person you were. Quote from Coach Paul. The next one I want to talk about. This is a good one for me. We often stress about things we can't change. And we are even quicker to do nothing but sit and complain about the things we can change. Ain't that true? Another quote from Coach Paul. We often stress about the things we can't change. Oh my God. One of the reasons why life was so messy for me, and I didn't even know it until I got free from it. One of the reasons that life was so messy for me was partly because I had a lot of stress and I didn't even know how to deal with that properly. So I got high. And when I finally got delivered, healed, I realized that the things that I was stressing about, I couldn't control them anyway. They were all outside of me and outside of my control. And because I could control them, I allowed them to control me. And some of y'all out there know what I'm talking about. We have to stop stressing about things we can't control. You cannot control them. This is one of the reasons why many of us are not fully walking in our greatness and the extraordinary potential. Because my stress level, my anxiety, first of all, like I said before in another episode, you calling it yours. That's why you can't get rid of it. And the second thing is, it's coming on because of something that you can't control. The serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. I can't change people. You can't change people. You will not change a person. A person is going to change when they are ready, if they ever get ready. You can't control that, right? So again, we stressing about things that we cannot change. Now you understand why you stuck. Now you understand part of the reason why you stagnated. Right? Now you understand part of the reason why you're not growing. Or if you are growing, you're growing in an unhealthy way, because unhealthiness grows too. Let me tell you that. Unhealthiness bears fruit as well. Let me tell you that. So, and we're quicker to do nothing but sit and complain about the things we can. Now, don't you think that sounds really crazy? We stress about the things we can't change and we complain about the things that we can, and wonder why life is so messed up. Wonder why we on all these medications. Wonder why we have to even see a psychiatrist. And then watch this. Then we find ourselves going week after week, day after day, month after month, year after year, asking the church to pray for us about the exact same thing. Some people, every time you see them, they are asking you to pray about the exact same thing that they asked you to pray about a long time ago. Like God didn't hear you the first time. And one of the reasons why they're asking you to do this is because they're willfully sitting and doing nothing but complaining about the things that they can change. How do I know? How do I know? Experience, been there, done it. So again, we talk again. All of this is surrounded around being able to walk in our greatness and the extraordinary potential. One of the reasons why, this is another reason why, right? We stressing about stuff we can't change, and we won't do nothing about the things that we can. I like what Inky Johnson had told one of his fellow college football players. He was stressing about some stuff and ready to quit. He was ready to give up. And a lot of times that's what happened to us. Instead of doing something about what we could do, doing something about that thing that we could do something about, we'll complain to the point where we'll be willing to quit, give up, throw in the towel, throw it away, whatever. We'll be more willing to do that. And here's what Inky Johnson said to the guy. And I want every last one of us to understand that this can relate to you and me as well. He says, why would you complain about something that you are not willing to change? Wow. That bothered me. But it bothered me in a negative way. It bothered me that it sparked something. It moved something in me. I'm just like, wow. And at that moment, when I heard him say that quote, it sparked something in me to a point where I became cognizant of that quote every time I had a conversation with somebody and I watched them complain. I'm watching the complaint, and in the complaint, you can tell that they could do something about it, and they was doing absolutely nothing but complaining. I had to stop doing that. And I had to stop, watch this, I had to stop listening to it. And some of you all gonna have to do the same. You're gonna have to stop listening to the people that's all they do is complain. That's why all of your relationships, if you're a complainer, you have to know and understand that all of your relationships are unhealthy. From God to you, to the people that you got relationships with. If you are a constant complainer, you have to understand and know that all of your relationships are unhealthy. And if you don't see something is wrong with that and move what needs to move so that that won't be a part of your life, don't sit and complain about why, again, somebody's starving you. And it doesn't necessarily mean from a monetary standpoint. You've been starved in many areas of your life because all you sitting up doing is complaining. We have to stop doing that to ourselves. Stop complaining about the things you can change and stop worrying about the things you can't. You know why I don't? It's a couple of reasons why I don't stress about the present government or the present, not the government, but the present person. Number one, because my total reliance and dependence is upon God. That's number one. Number two, ain't nothing I can do to change that man. There's absolutely nothing that I can do to change him. Then I'm gonna move on. For me, let me use my own personal life. For the 30 years that I was messed up on drugs, prisons, homelessness, living like an animal, for the 30 years that happened in my life, there was never a time, watch this, there was never a time that I didn't love my family. Never. I've always loved my family. Mama, my significant other at the time, my children, my grandchildren, extended family members, never a time that I didn't love them. But all the love that they had for me and all the love that I had for them couldn't stop me from getting high. Couldn't stop me from messing up my life. It wasn't until I was ready to change that change came. And so what am I saying? I don't care what you do or say, you can't change anybody but you. So why would I stress over what somebody is doing when I know I can't change them? What I am going to do is change me. And how I changed me, my reliance is upon God, 100%. My dependence and my reliance is upon God. And he gave me the ability. Y'all better read y'all Bible. It's God who gave us the ability to do this, that, or the other, not somebody that's in office. Let me get off of that. Let me go to the next one. My next quote is, and this is not from Coach Paul, so I'm not going to try to take the rights to this, but it was a powerful quote that I read yesterday. It says this, watch this. People seldom improve when they have no other model but themselves to copy. You can't do it by yourself. People seldom improve when they have no other model but themselves to copy. This is by Oliver Goldsmith. A quote by Oliver Goldsmith. And that thing stuck out to me, and I had to keep it because, my favorite book, which I choose to call the Bible, says, lean not on your own understanding. And there's too many of us living in this world that's squandering off our greatness because we are too dependent on our own understanding and not allowing ourselves to be in a place, in a position where we are getting some education, information, and understanding from other people. They talk about being set in your ways and people being strong-headed. Those are the people who miss it the most. How do I know? I didn't start to become who I am until I started shedding my mouth and learning from other people and thinking, because it was a time in my life where I thought that just me and God. Somebody, all of us said, a lot of us said, a lot of us said many times, all I need is Jesus. All I need is God, just me and God. Or me and God got our own thing. We doing it this way. No, that's why you where you at. That's why you where you are. Because y'all got y'all own thing. Lean out into your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him and he'll direct your paths. And one of the ways that he's going to direct your path, my pastor said is so cold. He said, God helps people through people. So let me say this. If all you needed was to lean on your own understanding to become or blossom or prosper, why you messed up then? If all you needed was your own understanding to walk in your greatness, you would have never been messed up in the first place. Because your understanding would have been that thing that carried you into your greatness. Listen, y'all. Somebody said if you always the smartest person in the room, you in the wrong room. It's some room, in recovery, they say that God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth so we can listen twice as much as we talk. And so we have to position ourselves. Watch your greatness, you becoming the greatness that God has put inside of you. It's attached to you being around other people and getting ideas from other people. Getting education from other people, getting information from other people, getting motivation from other people, getting encouragement from other people. It's tied to it. You are not going to be able to do this your way or by yourself. 2 ways that it is not going to happen. It's impossible for it to happen your way and by yourself. Not going to happen. I'm here to tell you that right now. So if you thought that you could just do it your way and by yourself, good luck. Good luck. Let me know how it works for you in 10 years. Come to me in 10 years from now and let me know how it. No. Come to me in a year and let me know how it's working for you. Let me know how it's working for you. And so, excuse me, again, he says people seldom improve. Do you want to improve? Well, you're going to have to learn from some other people. You're going to have to stop learning from you. You're going to have to stop learning from you. You're going to have to start to learn from other people. They say, I hear, Eric Thomas and all of the motivational speakers and the TD Jakes and the Wall Street Trappers and Les Browns. I hear all of these guys and some of the women out there who are powerful motivational speakers. I don't know a lot of the names, but I've come across quite a few of them. And one of the things that they always talk about is if you want to do this, you got to be around people who do it. Whatever it is that you want to do, or whoever it is that you are or God has called you to be, you're going to have to be around people who are already doing it to teach you. You 100%, or it's not going. People seldom improve. People seldom improve. And I'm gonna get off of this and be able to and get ready to land this plane because I got some other important endeavors that I got to get prepared for today. But I work with children or students, should I say, that are in continuation schools, and when we go out for breaks, lunch, or just a break, it amazes me how the majority of the people in the class get a chair and go off into the respective corners by themselves. And they do it every time we go out. Even when we're in the classroom, some students are in the classroom, won't interact with the other students at all. And I ain't talking about just one or two students. I'm talking about a number of them. One of this person at that desk, that person at that desk, that person at that desk, that person at that desk, and none of them are communicating with one another. People seldom improve when they have no other model but themselves to copy. Oliver Goldsmith. You got to be around who you want to be like or who you are. You got to be around like-minded people, like-minded places, doing like-minded things. You cannot do it your way and on your own. It's just something. You watch this, and I'm gonna land the plane. One thing I know for sure, in some cases, that's not a true statement either. But for the most part, the one thing that I know that you and I can do by ourselves at some point in our lives is go to the bathroom. That's it. I don't need nobody. I'm at a place in my life where I don't need anybody to go to the bathroom with me. I can do that 100% good by myself. That's it. So all this other stuff I got going on in my life, I need people. I need people to model, to show me how to do some of the things. I'm in some growth stages right now of some things going on in my life, from a business standpoint, from a ministry standpoint. I'm in some growth stages right now. And I got questions. And I know the people who I need to be connected with to get the answers to. And go get them from me. Because if I had the answer, it would have never been a question. There you go. Anyway, listen, y'all. I love each and every last one of y'all. There's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Until the next time, be well, do the next right thing. God bless you all. And if you looking for a butt, it's going to always be easy to find one. That, my friends, is a promise. This is Coach Paul. Deuces.